Welcome back, my lovelies. Today is another episode of Getting Real. This would be episode number 2. And as you can see from the title, I've decided to talk about how it's not, I'm going to say it again, it's not a blessing to have and to be raising a special needs child. I know this is a big no-no and a big taboo. And I'm going to explain how and why from my own experience. This is not all across the board. Everybody has different experience, and whatever works for you doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for everybody if you're a parent of special needs. And I understand that many react that way around a parent of special needs because they have nothing else to say. Okay? So, a quick story. I'm going to try to do this quick, and maybe I'll elaborate on another video. I did not know that I was having a kid with Downs when I was pregnant ever, okay, with Down syndrome. I found out the day of her birth. She couldn't breathe very well. Everybody was freaking out. Nobody was telling me anything. And a few moments after that, like my husband wanted to stay with me and I kicked him out of the room. I was like, no, go with her. Oh my God, can you imagine? And I would say about an hour. It felt to me like an hour. I don't know. About an hour after they took her out, my husband came in first, okay, and then the doctor followed. Not after that. And she was a really good doctor, very competent, amazing doctor. But they do not, and she's seen this her entire career. I think she's been a doctor for 15, 20 years, okay. So she's seen that, been there, done that. So sensitivity was out of the window when she came to describe to me what's going on with my baby. Right away, she's like, well, she's fine now. It's under control and whatnot. She doesn't need to be under, any respiratory anything assistance. She just had a little trouble, but she was good to go. That was a real relief for me. And I was like, what can I see her? I just need to see her. So she started describing to me, well, you know how we have 2 lines in each of our fingers. In her pinky, she only has 1 line. And she has an extra roll in her neck. And between her eyes, there is more spaces. And her tongue is larger. And I was like, where is she going with this? I was in my early 20s. Can't remember, 24 maybe. And she proceeded to say all these characteristics leads to she's almost 100% sure she has Down syndrome. After she said she has Down syndrome, real quick in my head, and I was like translating it in my head because I'm not very familiar with Down syndrome. When you hear it off the bat to me, English being not my first, I kind of went into my head and translated it. Trisomie 21, Down syndrome, it's that. After that, I don't know what happened, like a court circuit in my brain. I don't know if you understand me, like court circuit, like, you know what I mean, like bzz, something fried up in my brain. And my tongue got tied up. I could not speak, I could not move, I could not say anything. I was in complete shock. And then she looked at us and I could see her move, her lips moving. And it's like my ear were muffled, like you're hearing somebody talk on the other side of the wall with door closed, like, and I could see like her lips moving. I was like, stoic, is that the word? And I stayed like that, I believe, for 8 hours. Once she left the room, my husband tried to talk to me and everything and saying, What's interesting is what broke my shock was my husband's, how you say that? Stepdad. So not his real dad, the husband of his wife. The dude came in the room with a bouquet of flowers. And I said, why are you bringing flowers? This is the worst day of my life. And that broke my tongue tightness. And then he backed out slowly and left. And I did not know what to do. Okay. it's like an instant loss. You're like, what? It's birth. Taboo alarms were going off. Oh my gosh, you're horrible, blah, blah, blah. You're entitled to your opinions. You're not in my shoes. My entire life, I was not expecting a Prince Charming husband, the best husband in the world, a wonderful man in my life. All I wanted in my life is to have a daughter. You had a daughter. She's fantastic. You'll always have her. Let's keep it real. Okay? So to me, it was more like a mourn than a celebration of life, especially during my shock moments. And then I had the fantastic task to call my parents in Africa and tell them over the phone that my daughter, their baby girl, had Downs. And I was lost and confused and shock. Shock is the word, okay? And that night, I don't believe too much in heaven and hell and angels and stuff like that. But that night, an angel nurse came in my room and she was like, well, did you get to see your daughter? Did you get to your baby? Did you get to touch your baby? Did you get to see her at all? And I was like, no. And I've had her like close to like 10 or 11 hours now ago. And I was a high-risk pregnancy, so they were checking on me and blood pressure and all that stuff. So she's like, this stays between us. You have to see your baby. You'll feel better. Do you want to see your baby? And I was like, bawling. She put me in the wheelchair, and she wheeled me in there, and they check Down's babies, and I'd imagine other special needs babies, extra, especially Downs. I guess they can be born with heart defects, respiratory problems, and then holes in their hearts and stuff like that. So when I went to see Kina, she was covered in tubes. And I don't know if I will be able to find a picture and insert it or not. Maybe I don't need to insert that picture, but you can imagine. EKG, respiratory, blood pressure, covered in tubes. And I was like, how do I touch her? Like, I don't want to mess up anything. I don't want to, mess up the alarm system I didn't want to hurt her in any way. She said, go ahead. And I touched her upper foot like this, bawling. And I instantly felt connected. It's not that I didn't love my baby, okay? For the first 2 weeks, how the hell am I equipped as a 24-year-old with no experience with special needs? I'm not a professional in that field. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I'm not nothing. Who am I to be able to take care of her, protect her, what kind of life she's going to be? She was tiny, and I was already imagining her future without me. What if I die before her? Who's going to take care of her? How I'm going to protect her from bullies? How I'm going to protect her? How? And I would go into the bathroom in my house once we left and cry in the bathtub, and try to conceal it from my husband. Before we left the hospital, however, I had a very lovely lady, lactation specialist. She came and she said, I see that you mentioned you want to breastfeed. That was the next day. And they brought her to me and she was fine, and I was able to hold her. Boy. Look what I got, y'all, real quick. I got a beach towel just in case I cry. I don't need Kleenex is not going to be enough. And look, all these professional people, I'm not blaming them, I'm not attacking them. They come from a place of experience. And they don't have time to see case by case. They just tell you from their experience what happens, whatever. But moving on. She's like, well, sweetie, don't bother too much with it, because her tongue is enlarged and she cannot latch on. And just give her the bottle, sweetie. Okay? Like that. And Akina, my daughter, means affection and love in Irish. I saw the definition before I named her. That's how I picked it without knowing Downs, without knowing affection. Anyways, she's my second kid. So I'm like, I breastfed my son, I can breastfeed her. And I was like, you're a professional and all this in my head. And I was like, I'm still gonna try it. She left, and I was like, I'm gonna try it. That baby latched on. She was so hungry. She latched on like this on the first, second try. My oldest, maybe new mom also, it took by the third day for him to latch on and stay on and all that, okay? She did fantastic. Excuse me real quick, you guys. I wish I had Irish cream in hell. Coffee here. I hope y'all hold on until the end of this video. I really do. Okay, so long story short, the shock started to dwindle a little bit after 2 weeks. And they say, oh my gosh, did you see somebody for postpartum? I don't know postpartum exists. My husband's still fairly new dad. No, but I stayed with them mourning the loss of what I wanted, what shoulda, coulda been for many, many, many years. To be exact, I remember the day I broke out of that mourning. It was 8 years. That's for another time, guys. So getting real about, no, it's not a blessing. I understand. They say if you don't know what to say or whatever, just don't say anything. One of the things that ticks me off still, I'm not over it, is when I go to a doctor's office or parent-teachers conference and I meet other parents, or the freaking store, okay? Somebody behind me in the line, or, oh, she's very, very special and so smart. So smart. And she is not doing anything. She's just taking out cans from the shopping cart and putting them on the belt thing. And oh my gosh, you're so lucky. She is such a blessing. No, you can ask her brothers, you can ask me, you can ask, and I guess if you're religious and that's your way of coping, then I envy you. I am not religious whatsoever. I'm spiritual, but not religious at all. So kudos on you to be able to have that as support, to be able to surpass painful situations. Well, it's a blessing and stuff like that, right? Something else that ticks me off, and it's a huge taboo in our society and everywhere around the world. Since last year or last 2 years, have you guys noticed a trend? Like there's like mom movies that, you know, they're not perfect and it's hilarious and they're tired and they're running everywhere and they don't have a life and they're like look super ratchet in their sweatpants and the crazy hair and messy PTA cookies, and then some skits on YouTube and on Facebook of like funny mom life short videos or whatever. Most of the time 99.9% of the time they praise them and they love them, and I love it too because it's reality, right? I want y'all to tag below if you've seen any skits or movies that are hilarious and depict the life of all the special needs parents out there, not just moms, dads, parents. I don't know of any. In fact, it's a big taboo and shame on you and how dare you, and you don't deserve to have that kid, and how could you say that, and it is not their fault. Not once did I say it's Kina's fault that life is so tough. And many people take the opposite, like the minute a parent says, this is my reality, I am so freaking tired, I'm tired that because so, not just Downs, there's a gazillion and million conditions out there, okay? Oh, you're horrible and you don't deserve your kid and you must not love that kid and that kid shouldn't be with you. Are you kidding me? I know for a fact every parent, no matter what condition their kid has, will lay down their life for their kid. It's just a statement of fact, you know? And we're not, why chastise that? Why say we're horrible? Why say we don't deserve our children because we state the truth? But a regular, quote unquote, parent, you know, depicts the truth as hilarious and funny and everything. I know I'm not being very funny right now because it's not really funny as I laugh. Um, I might insert some pictures, and you guys then can judge if it's a blessing or not to have a special need kid. Okay. Imagine, and I'm gonna have more serious about raising a teenager with Down syndrome girl. Okay. Imagine a tantrum of a 2-year-old in a 13-year-old form, full-grown 13-year-old body in a tantrum that way. Imagine acts of bodily movements. I'm just gonna say pooping. Okay, 2-year-old sometimes poops somewhere in the wilderness, and plays with it and grabs it or whatever. Imagine that in a 13-year-old full poop. I might insert a picture. Now, thank goodness she doesn't grab it anymore. She was still grabbing it when she was like 6 and 7. She doesn't grab it anymore. And she does that occasionally in the bathtub. So I have to drain everything, patati, patata, and clean and scrub and refill it. I might insert a picture in that. Imagine it's that. And not all Downs are at the same level, just like not all regular kids are at the same level in maturity, in understanding, and comprehension, and in brain, everything. My daughter, she does function at a 2 and a 3 age range. Okay? So anything that a 2-year-old would do, she would. Okay? And I don't even know what I'm going to say anymore. It's not fair for her, primarily. This life, y'all, is tough enough on a regular person. What kind of life awaits her? And don't be sending me messages or texts or comment. You can commenting about this kid with Downs that opened a restaurant. This girl that graduated college, whatever. Kina, she's 13, and she is at a 2-year-old level. Not all special needs are successful, just like not all regular kids are successful. And at this point, I'm okay with that. I just worry about her future after me. Once I'm gone, what's going to happen to her? Before, in my 20s, early 20s, I used to say, I don't want to just die and be forgotten that I even existed. That used to be my biggest fear. I don't want to be forgotten. I don't want to be forgotten. I have one wish now. Y'all can believe me or not. My one wish is for her to die before me. Because I do not trust her care to anyone, and I do not know what would happen to her if I'm gone. That's the one thing I want from this universe. That she goes before me. I can't rest in peace if I leave her behind. I apologize in advance if this video was all over the place. This is to tell you out there, if you are a special needs mom, if you do have a strong support system, whether it be religious or family or church or phenomenal friends and family and everything, good for you. If you're out there alone, I feel you. And you can contact me on my Instagram. Just send me a DM, not so perfect vegans, and pour your heart to me. I'm not going to judge you at all. You say you can't take it anymore. You say you're exhausted, you're tired. The other siblings are tired as well. And it takes, I'm going to have to do another video about the impact on other siblings and family and everything. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to say you're a bad mom for saying you're tired and you can't take it anymore, whether it be Down syndrome or any other special needs, okay? You're not alone. I've been, without my mom, and I know you're watching this, excuse me, she's all the way in Africa. She's dealing with her own health problems. And she never judged me once for complaining about Kina or how tired I am or how scared I am for her or anything. My mom is fairly religious, and she never told me, how dare you, you have an angel, and you're special to God, and in fact you will go to heaven because you have a special needs kid. Yes, I have been told that by a fellow mom of a special needs child, that me and her were going straight to heaven because God entrusted us with angels. I'd rather make a pact with the devil and have my kid without any health or mental complications of any kind than go to heaven because I have a special needs child. I'm trying to end this video on a happy note. Kina has taught me two things: true unconditional love, what it really means, and patience. I'm getting there. I didn't learn it completely, and I want to end this video on a positive note, y'all. Okay, but please feel free to DM me on Not So Perfect Vegans Instagram page. Hang on, I'm gonna try and do this. And here is our ending right here. Hang on. Do you see that friendly gecko over there? And boom. If you have stuck with me to the end of this video, I appreciate you so much, and I hope you understood what was my point. Until our next Getting Real episodes, I love y'all. Thank you, and have a great rest of your week. See you in my next video.